very nice. Well, it sounds like we've got a phone call on the line. So, hello, caller, are you there?
Hello, yes, this is caller.
Hi, caller.
How's it going?
Do you have a name, caller?
Yes, my name is Brandon.
Brennan?
Hello, Brandon.
Hi, Brennan.
What kind of a question you got for us?
So my question is science related.
Oh, okay. Well,
Okay.
go right ahead.
What is the carbon cycle and why is it important?
All right. Well, the carbon cycle is really interesting. Let me see if I can pull up a graphic here. Brandon, are you watching the show right now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to pull up just sort of a simple graphic of the carbon cycle. Let me see if I can get a better one than that. Okay, it's very small on my screen. I don't know that this is really going to do us much good. We'll try to enlarge it a little bit, but I'll do my best to sort of explain us through here. So, can you see the picture a little bit?
Yes.
Do you see the little cow here and the tree?
Yeah, I see everything.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so Brandon, the deal with the carbon cycle is that when we talk about a cycle, we talk about the idea that both living things and non-living things help certain elements cycle through the environment to be used again. Does that make some sense?
Yes.
Okay, and Brandon, did you know that you are actually a carbon-based life form, that almost everything you're made out of is based around carbon?
I did not know that.
Yeah, so you are mostly carbon. The food you eat is mostly carbon. So let's start right there. So part of the carbon cycle is just going to be the entrance of carbon into animals by them eating carbon, right? So when you eat food, let's say you eat a hamburger for lunch, some of that food is going to be used for energy, but some of the carbon in there is also going to become part of your body as your body is built. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So then we'll kind of continue from you eating the hamburger, and we'll try to work through the whole cycle, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so one of the things that's going to happen with the carbon that you eat is it's going to be converted to a very simple sugar form called pyruvate. And then that carbon is going to be broken, or it's a carbon chain, and it'll be broken apart by your body. And your body's going to use the energy that it gets from breaking that carbon apart. And then you're going to breathe out some of the waste carbon. Do you know what gas humans breathe out?
I want to say CO2.
Yeah, it's CO2, exactly. So that C in CO2 is the carbon that your body has broken. Let's say two carbons are connected together. Your body broke the bond between them, took the energy that was released when that bond was broken, and then is attaching that carbon to an oxygen, or to two oxygens, and breathing it out as CO2. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
Okay, great. So then that CO2 molecule, it exits your body and it enters the atmosphere. And then can you think of anything in the environment that uses CO2 gas?
I want to say plants.
Yeah, that's perfect, Brandon. So plants breathe in CO2, and they use CO2 in a process called photosynthesis, where they make sugar using carbon dioxide, water, and the power of sunlight. Have you heard of this before?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, you breathed out that CO2. It got taken in by a plant. The plant then uses that CO2 and actually breaks the C back off that O2, sends the O2 back out into the environment, and then it takes that C, that carbon, and builds sugar out of it. Okay?
Okay.
So then that sugar the plant can do a couple things with it. The plant might use that sugar to make energy for itself, or let's say the plant is let's say it's grass, and the plant might actually store some of that sugar in its structure to be used later. But then our friend the cow comes along, and the cow eats that grass, right?
Yeah.
And so the carbon that you breathed out as CO2 that entered the plant when it breathed in, now it took that carbon, it made sugar out of it, it stored it inside of its grass body. Now this cow just ate that grass, and the cow is taking that carbon, putting it into its body, right? And then I think you know where this is going. Eventually we turn Mr. Cow into Mr. Hamburger. You eat the hamburger, and the cycle kind of continues in that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And there's a couple other things to be added into. I shortened the cycle a little bit. CO2 also enters the atmosphere when things die and decay. So there's lots of notes on my graphic here about dead organisms and decaying organisms. So as a living thing decays and breaks down, it also releases CO2. So when I die someday, my body will break down and will be released as CO2 gas. And that same CO2 gas can be taken up by plants, turned into sugar again, consumed by living organisms, and then as they die, they will decay, and the cycle will just repeat over and over and over again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, the way you described it.
Awesome. Do you have any follow-up questions, Brandon?
No, that was the only one I had.
Okay, great. Well, thanks so much for calling in.
Thank you guys for answering.
Have a good one.
Subscribe. Come on, push the button.
You know
Yeah, you want to.
Do it.